I'm Ricky Keith. Today we're here with Scott Stewart from the Pulaski Citizen, one of our platinum sponsors at the Chamber. And Scott, tell us a little bit about the Pulaski Citizen.
All right, first we want to welcome you guys in. Of course, we are the Pulaski Citizen. Been in print since 1854. Probably, if not the oldest, it's got to be one of the oldest in Giles County. Not continuously printed since 1854. An interesting story about the Pulaski Citizen, Ricky, is that during the Civil War, when the Northern troops started taking over in Giles County, Pulaski, they moved the presses out and didn't print it during that time.
Really?
Yeah. Otherwise, it has been printed every week since 1854. So
wow.
We've been proud to be part of the community, obviously, since then. I've been here since 1995. Started as a cops and court reporter, moved into the managing editor position and the editor position, and then I stepped back a little bit and did love sports. So I did sports for a while. And I went up of course, the newspaper's owned by the Lake family, and Herschel Lake, who died a little over a year ago, owned the radio station as well. And so I ran it for a little while and then came back down and after Herschel's death and became a publisher. So I've been publisher for less than a year now, and the 13th publisher that the Pulaski Citizens had, so I'm proud of that. We're standing here just real quick to show you guys some of the old ways that things were done. We've got a little museum down here. We got the computers from back in the day when I started, and we've got stuff that's further back than I can even remember.
Right.
But, this press, I don't know if you can see it here, but it is it's one of the presses like the original one that they would have used here back when the newspaper started in 1854.
Wow.
So this is printing and newspaper equipment. Of course, we are part of Pulaski Publishing, which is Holley's Printing and the Pulaski Citizen, and you'll hear from Todd Hatfield here in a little bit.
Well, technology's come a long way. It's incredible. I know you publish the paper online now.
We do. We publish. We actually have two online presences for the Pulaski Citizen. The PulaskiCitizen.com is where you can get the online edition of the newspaper. It is a PDF. It looks just like the newspaper. The pages flip and everything.
Wow.
I mean, it is the newspaper, and you can get a subscription to that. You can get a subscription to the regular newspaper and get that free, or you can just buy one or the other. I mean, however you want to do it. We've got all kind of options as far as the subscriptions go. We try to give people every opportunity they can get to get the newspaper, including sales racks throughout town. We've got at most markets in town, and then several throughout the county. We've got newspaper stands where you can buy the newspaper for $1. And then our boxes, which you guys are about a week late, man, but we just set our boxes back out, and we're really proud of them. I got an article in the paper coming out today that some folks will see about it, and we'll see pictures of them, but you can find them at several different places throughout town. We had them painted up by local body shop here, and then you'll learn about our wide format printing that Holley's has got, and they printed up all the art that's on the side of these things. So there's one down at the Chamber.
That's right.
Next
I remember seeing one out front there.
And so if you guys see those boxes around, they're definitely not the old yellow boxes that everybody's used to. So.
Well, I remember from a child going to the newspaper stand with my grandfather, getting a newspaper. He always was one to get a newspaper every week.
Yep.
And this was just a thought that I had. You can answer this question for me. We're kind of forced to use technology and forced to see a lot of things online, but do you get a lot of people say, I still want that newspaper in my hand?
Well, Ricky, for people that are 50 and older, like I'm assuming you're over 50.
I am.
People that are 50 and older, like you and I, we kind of like the experience of the paper, and I'm kind of generalizing here. Younger people tend to enjoy the computer screen, as we know. And I'm kind of in an area kind of in between.
Right.
I grew up with newspapers, but I also enjoy the seeing stuff on the computer, so I can embrace both.
Right.
The generalities are that the younger people prefer digital.
Right.
And the old people that are 50 years or older in that area, they tend to like the feel of the newspaper in their hand. So we provide it for both, and we're proud to do it. And I told you about PulaskiCitizen.com a minute ago. I forgot about GilesNews.com.
Right.
Which is something that we've started up, and it is a daily news, breaking news website, and it just got started. We started that when I first came back down here in like August of last year. And so it is something that we're building on. It's going to be something that that people are going to enjoy. We just added photo galleries where people can go on the pictures. You know, we only have a limited amount of space in the newspaper, so we've got all these pictures we've taken, and that goes way back to whenever. But so we decided, hey, let's put these pictures up. Maybe people will be interested in them. Now, yeah, we're asking for $1 for a download, but it's not, you know, $1 for a download. It's not that much. And we also have options for people if they want to buy the prints. Holley's printing the prints for them. So that gilesnew.com is something exciting, and we tie it in with our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is something that I started back when I was the editor.
Sure.
We've got 6,200 people that like our Facebook page. We are in constant communication with the community that way, and that's a way that we can be interactive with the community, because newspapers don't really lend themselves to interactivity, you know, as much. You know, when you got a newspaper in your hand, it's a personal experience pretty much. But through our Facebook, through our gilesnews.com, we're becoming more interactive with the community and really enjoying it.
That's great. Well, I know you guys keep us up to date on what's going on in local government,
Yeah.
our city councils. You're reporting that on a weekly basis. But you said this earlier. Sports was a big thing for you.
I love sports. Yeah.
Our little leagues, our soccer leagues, our young people in this community are a big deal, aren't they?
They are a big deal in this community, and you know, the parents and the people that volunteer and for all this stuff, for all these sporting events in each league, and man, they're great people, and they have a passion.
Sure.
They're passionate about sports, but they're more passionate about their kids and about teaching their kids how to play right and how to compete, but not compete properly.
Sure.
And that's the one thing I've known a lot of the people that I've dealt with doing sports over the last few years, but you know, I learn more about those people as I go along, and there's some great people that do the youth sports here, and it's something that I enjoy doing just because it lifts me up, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's great, and it's great to see the community together. One of the things that I love about our small community in Pulaski and Giles County, you guys provide a great service to the community through the news outlet, through the Pulaski Citizen, but you're a part of the community also.
Yeah.
You want to be involved. You sponsor.
Right, and we're trying to do that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's a role that really, what you don't want to force yourself into a situation. You kind of want to find where you fit in the community, and really right now we're trying to find that place. We've always been part of the community, and we're always going to lift up. You know, people got stuff going on, they tell us about it, we tell everybody else about it. That's kind of the way the news part works. But as far as being part of the community and being involved, you know, one thing that we do, we open up the building here to the radio auction.
Absolutely.
Now, yeah, it was part of the radio. It was easy to do back when the Lakes owned the radio station.
Right.
But even this year, after they had sold it, we still opened it up, and that's something that we're trying to give. That's one way we can be part of the community. But we're looking for other ways, and you know, just waiting for that niche to find itself and be more involved.
Absolutely. Well, we're just absolutely appreciative of the work you do. Not just the service you provide and the news that you provide, but you're a great employer also. You guys employ several people here.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm not going to throw them out there, to be honest with you.
That's fine.
But we do have a lot of employees here, a lot of great people that are dedicated, and I'm talking about both companies when I talk about it. But on the citizen side, the newspaper business, you have to be dedicated. You have to enjoy what you're doing in order to want to do it.
That's right.
There's a lot of times where you don't get you're not seeking recognition, but you don't get any. The recognition you get is not the kind you want. Let's put it that way. So the people that I'm going to introduce you to whenever we go into the news department here, we'll talk to those guys, or I'll introduce you to all of them. They're all really dedicated to what they do, and that's what really makes a great newspaper, is the people that put it together.
That's great. If someone has something to advertise, how do they contact you?
363-3544 is the number here at the newspaper. You can also go online at gilesnews.com. On the contact us, there's information on how to email us. but the main number is 363-3544. I'll introduce you to Bob Donovan, who is our new advertising manager.
Okay.
And we'll introduce you to him in a little bit. And but yeah, that's how you get a hold of us at 363-3544.
That's great. Let's go take a tour.
All right, let's go. Welcome into the Pulaski Citizen News Department. This is where all the news is gathered, and I know sometimes it sounds easy, but it's not always the easiest thing, as these guys will attest to. I'm going to introduce you to the guys that are here, the news staff that's here. We got first of all, we'll go over here to Trey. This is Trey Donovan. He's the newest addition to our news staff, and he's covering cops, spot news, and you know, I'll tell you what they cover, but we all cover a little bit of everything, right? Tracy Ayers, Tracy's been with us a little over 10 years now, and she has moved into the managing editor position. And she covers court and schools and about 1,000 other things. And then over here behind the computer screen is Carrie Malone. Carrie Malone is the editor. Carrie's been part of this department for a long time. She started in high school.
Yeah.
And
Almost
while I was
15
still,
years.
yeah, a little over 10, have 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over 15 years. So I was the editor when Carrie started working here, and she's my right and my left hand. So but what we do in here, generally with the news, we'll go out and find news. News will come to us. It's just a mishmash of what's going on in the community. And as you guys know, there's always something going on. It may not always be the most exciting thing in the world, but we cover whatever's going on in our community. So this is our news department, and of course, real quick, I want to tell you, Paul Mankey is not here today. He is our political editor, excuse me, I'm sorry. He covers Giles County government, Ardmore government, Linville government, and he also covers some Ardmore sports for us. And over in that office, if he was here, would be Mark Mize, who is our sports editor. And Mark is also in charge of helping me get the newspapers out by mail each and every Tuesday, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Sorry. Welcome into our advertising department. This is where the business end of the newspaper comes in. This is Bob Donovan. He is our advertising manager, newly named advertising manager, by the way. Martha Horn was our advertising manager for almost 30 years. She recently retired, and Bob's been with our company now already for about 5 years, and he stepped into that role. It's an important role, by the way. We value the relationships we have with our local businesses, and Bob's taken on a pretty big role in maintaining and building on those relationships. That's right. So we want to welcome Bob in as our newest member of the advertising department, as the advertising manager. But a veteran of newspaper advertising is Donna Yant, and Donna's been part of our advertising department now for several years, and she's where the rubber meets the road when it comes to advertising. She's out there talking to the guys. And if anybody has any questions about how to advertise in the Pulaski Citizen, on our website, in any way, shape, fashion, or form, we welcome you to call Bob or Donna at 363-3544. All right, we're in the mailing area. This area is used by both Holley's Printing and the Pulaski Citizen, and Todd will tell you more about the Holley's Printing side in a little bit. But this is basically the area where we mail out the subscriptions every Tuesday night, and we also get the bundles ready to go out to the stores and to our boxes, and the many different ways that we disseminate the paper. This unit, basically we set it up. We've got a program that takes all the addresses, puts them in order. We run them through this machine. There'll be a bander over here, and then the papers will either be put in any of these different mailing carts. So that's the end of the run for us on a Tuesday. Tuesdays, and I'm glad you guys are here on Tuesday, because you get to see a whole lot more about what goes on here at the newspaper whenever we're printing it on Tuesday. And it's like, this is our graphic arts department, and Rebecca Brooks, she handles several things for us here at the newspaper. She does graphic design of our ads, as well as the main thing that she does, which is the classifieds. Rebecca handles the classified section. She not only gathers all the information from different areas, and there's a lot of different areas for sure when it comes to classifieds, and then she lays out the pages and gets those ready for us to put out every week. So Rebecca's got a lot going on up here. Like I said, she does lay out some of our ads, but her main job is the classifieds. Kathy is the person who you'll hear when you call in. It'll be her lovely voice that you hear when you call 363-3544. She handles our subscriptions and our circulation. She helps me with circulation. And then she also she'll take the papers and measure them each week so we have accurate numbers to report to the Postal Service and also for our billing purposes. So this is Kathy. She's Kathy Amade, who you'll see whenever you walk in the door here at Pulaski Citizen. This is the press room here at Holley's Printing and Pulaski Citizen. The reason I say it like that, Holley's Printing is actually the printing side of the newspaper. They operate the presses and the inserter, which we'll get to in a few minutes. We've got Shane Armstrong, Travis Clark, Marcus Whitfield, and those guys run the press every week. And as you can see right now, they're putting plates onto the press. And in a few minutes, we'll get some video of how the press runs and how the paper actually ends up coming off. But this is where the magic happens every week. And this is our press room here at the Pulaski Citizen. This is our insert machine. We have companies advertisers that want to put the advertising in the circulars, is what they were called back in the day. I guess we call them inserts. And this machine inserts the insert into your newspaper. So each week when you get those, this is the machine that does that. We used to do it by hand, but a couple of years ago, we purchased this machine, and it really does a great job of putting all the advertising circulars into the newspaper. We'll give you a good look here in just a minute about how it runs and what it does. But real quick, I want to introduce the folks that are on the machine. Down here on the far end is Joyce Dyer. We call that's Granny, to call us down here. Elena Lamar. In the back in the pink, that's Abby Williams, who is operator. White McConnell, Cameron Turner, and there's Mark Mines, who I told you was also our crew. That's part of our insert crew. We have some more people that come in later in the day, on Tuesdays and sometimes on Mondays, but this is the core crew of the insert.
I'm Ricky Keith. I'm here today with Todd Hatfield. Todd, good to see you this morning with Holley's Printing. Holley's is one of our platinum sponsors at the Chamber of Commerce, and we've been looking forward to doing this spotlight with you guys. Todd, tell us a little bit about Holley's Printing.
Well, I grew up around Holley's Printing. Holley's was founded by my grandfather, Clarence Holley, in 1961. We were founded basically as an automotive black and white type printer, printing a lot of black and white instruction sheets for local company Gabriel Shock Absorbers here in town. And since we've evolved into doing a lot of different things at Holley's Printing, and we were bought by the Lakes, a family-owned publishing company, Pulaski Publishing, in about 1986, and we've evolved into a lot of different things since then as far as signage and different things. But we started in a 2,500 square foot facility, and we split it with 2 or 3 other businesses.
Wow.
And today here at Holley's Printing, we're in a 50,000 square foot manufacturing facility that we do a number of different things.
I bet you do. I bet you do. Well, I know you have a lot of different product and services that you provide. I think we're going to go around here in just a minute and look at some of our different departments. Just a quick overview. What are some of the services that Holley's provides?
What I kind of want to do today is show you, hit on some of the high points, and we do a ton of different things, like I said, from paper to coffee mugs to t-shirts and newspapers, and basically anything involving your logo getting out to the public. And what I want to do is kind of show the public how a job comes into our office, the way it starts, and kind of works its way through our building all the way out the door to be shipped to you, the customer. Basically.
So you guys literally provide individual to industry services?
Yes, sir. Okay. Individual, something as simple as a graduation invitation, or something as complex as an annual report for a big corporation like a big corporate bank or something. An annual report, or maybe signage or banners and that kind of thing is something new that we're into. But we've been in color printing on paper since the 80s as far as color brochures and that sort of thing. And a lot of people associate that with us, but we do things as simple as ink pens, coffee mugs, and that sort of thing, business cards, and all the way up to wide format printing. This can be done on a 4x8 sheet, which is a really good size, 4x8 feet.
That's large.
In the printing world that we were in up until just a few years ago, it was 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper.
Right, just flyers.
Flyers, or big, fairly good sized poster board.
Right.
19 by 25 is the biggest sheet we could run until this year, and now we went from 19 by 25 inches to 4x8 feet now of things that we're printing on for sure. But I'll take you through the plant and kind of show
Let's
you
go look
the
at some of
different
the
machines.
some of the equipment and some of the different departments.
Today, my objective is to kind of show you how a job flows through our building at Holley's Printing. And each job starts here in our front office with our customer service people, and they're responsible for basically getting you an estimate for the pricing for your particular job. So if you're going to do some graduation invitations and you're not sure exactly how many you want, Rachel or one of the other customer service people will get you a price for, a quantity of 100, 250, or and so forth, how many ever you need for something as simple as a graduation invitation, or it could be a book that you're wanting pricing for 5,000, 7,500, and 15,000 of some type of manufacturing book or something like that. But basically, all the jobs will start here in our customer service area for the estimating process. Then once we've agreed on a price and a quantity, we'll turn that particular job into a job and say she chooses to do 200 of these. They'll get all that paperwork started here, and then we start on the design part of it, which would be the pictures and the layout, getting all the colors for the borders, and basically getting all your type set. And that's the department we're going to next, is our digital design department, with all of our graphic artists in it. This is basically our graphic design department, where after you've okayed the pricing and the quantity on the job, we'll start doing the layout with the logos and placing the pictures and getting all the type in place. And 1 minute Meredith may be working on a graduation invitation, the next minute she may be laying out wiring schematics for a water heater, and the next afternoon it's working on a catalog for a fishing lure company or something. We doing a lot of different things at one time, but they're basically moving logos and matching color and placing type all day long, every day, and placing pictures where they want to be. We send the proofs back to the customer. Okay, then it's time to actually send it to the presses to be printed. Now this particular press, we're printing a book today. It's about an 8-page book, and it'll be about 4,500 copies, 4,500 different sheets that we'll run. He's had this press set up, been running on this job for a few hours already this morning. What we're doing in this department, this is our direct mail department. We printed these pieces yesterday afternoon. This is just a basic 11 by 17 auction flyer, and this particular customer printed like 2,500 of these, and he'll be mailing about 1,700 to his customer base, his best auction customer. And they'll get the remainders to hand out in the local community in the area they'll be having the auction. But basically, we printed the piece yesterday. We'll be mailing it, or we'll be addressing it on this machine. Basically, you take your mailing list and it pre-sorts it, ready to go to the post office to be mailed. So it's all pre-sorted and has the bulk rate postage on it, and they'll all be trayed up like in these trays and carried to the post office this afternoon, and they'll be in the mail tomorrow going out to his customer for the sale that's coming up in 2 weeks. This is our newest piece of equipment. This is our wide format flatbed printer that does corrugated signs, metal signs that go outside. Literally, this machine will print on, you can take a wooden door off the hinges and print an image on it, and it will scan right through this machine. You can lay your image on top of it there. It'll print on thousands of different kinds of media. The most common are corrugated and aluminum signs that you see, scattered around town. And like I said, anything as small as a 18 by 24 small yard sign all the way up to a 4x8 sheet. And that's what we're printing now for an equestrian center that does boarding for horses, and the name of it's Travelers Ridge. But this is a big sign that's going to advertise their business, basically. It's, like I said, this machine will produce lots of different things. I've got some samples here that it's produced to. This is just some simple pie charts for a manufacturer, which is pretty simple. This is actually a substrate that would This is a check that can be used for auto dealers or banks or winners of any sort of contest. But this is a type of material that's a dry or a wet erase material, where you can come in and write a different name on it each week, like we did for the Citizen for the $100 drawing each week. We can come in, wipe this name off, and put a new one on next week. So it's not the same material we're printing here. It looks to be relatively the same, but the surface of it has a different makeup. We have different surfaces and different materials for all sorts of different applications. This one here is a pretty good example. This is printed on aluminum metal. One side has the metal finish. I don't know how well it'll show up there, but it has a distinct aluminum look to it. The other side, the same image is printed on, but it has a white background. It's not a metal background. So the bricks where they were painted white, it actually shows up in white. On this side, it's actually showing up as aluminum, is the color, the background color. But you could achieve this same thing on a piece of plywood. We could run a piece of stained wood through it. What we have here basically is this is called a collator. This puts books together for us, basically is what it does. Now today we're running a relatively small book, an 8-page book, and it's just made up of 2 11 to 17 flats. Now you can see all these bins here. We have the capability to go up to 50-something pages on books, or 50-something different flats. But today we're just, like I said, we're just running 2 flats. The machine actually picks up these 2 pieces of paper, runs them through a device that folds it in half. It'll put 2 staples in the stitching, and it'll 3-knife trim all 3 sides of this book, and it'll count them for you as well, David said. But they come out as a finished book here. With the staples already in it, folded down, ready to go out to the manufacturer there for their use. And like I said, some days we'll be running an 8-page book, the next day we may be running a 65-page book. But this is the machine that makes that happen. And here at Holley's, we have a lot of finishing equipment to do a lot of different things. Whether it's folding pieces down, we have machines that can take a large piece of paper and fold it down to something that'll fit in a box, almost like origami, where it'll take it down. Like I said before, we were started in the manufacturing industry. We used to print all the instruction sheets for shock absorbers. So we'd take a piece of paper that's 11 by 17, fold it down to where it can fit in a shock absorber box, maybe 2 inches square. But that's some of the things that we do here in this bin. Our bookmakers, one of the things you have to have in printing, you have to be able to produce books, for sure.